We're at my dad's with the drive shafts. He's feeling a lot better than he was. And there he goes. He's not even going to say hello. Not even going to say hello. Don't care. Let's go catch him up with him. Say hello, Dad.
Hello.
You haven't been feeling great. You're feeling a bit better now, aren't you?
Yeah. Christmas Day in bed.
So we've come up. I've already helped move some trees, and so my sister did as well, and Deanna. Thank you, Deanna. So yeah, I bought the drive shaft. I was supposed to take the CV joints off the end, but I haven't even bothered doing that yet. So we're going to do that as well. Careful, they're carefully aligned, Dad.
Yeah, I know. Well, you got the tape.
There you go. Yeah, see where the masking tape is where they need to be. Plus or minus a millimetre. Let's go with that. We're not very spec here. So yeah. So I think we should. I don't know what you think, but I think we should do two things here. What?
Those joints can come off, can't they?
Yeah, they should.
Like snap rings, like the minis.
Then the little ones, and these pot joints come off, and then they've got the spider on the end with the three bearings.
yeah,
and I think
yeah.
again, there's mostly just a clip that holds that.
Like the Ford.
We should maybe try and keep them just so I know which shaft is which. But
Yeah. No, yeah.
and so basically, I think to start with, I know you talked about the sort of the bird mouth, but I think what we should do first is just get both shafts sort of fitted in each other by 2 inches. Then we can decide what we want to do with the end, if you see what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
So either just take a skim off this to make it nice and square,
Yeah, will do, yeah.
and then what? 2 inches or 3? I think just 2.
No, 3.
3. So we do 3
Well,
inches.
the longer it is...
More chances of being central.
More alignment.
Obviously, you know, and I'm thinking if we keep this very short here, there's less chance of if any warpages on the welding. It's less chance, you know, if there is a slight warp, it's going to be less than it is if you did it down here, if you see what I mean, because...
Yeah.
And then we can decide whether we want to do any sort of bird mouth or anything silly on the joint.
Yeah, what I was wondering, whether if you had it three inches,
Yeah.
say then 2 inches down, yeah?
Yeah.
If you drilled a hole in here
Yeah.
with tapered edges,
Yeah.
and you could do a plug weld in there,
Yeah.
and you make then like a drive spigot.
Yeah.
If you weld to
Yeah.
this one,
Yeah.
make sure it's welded to that.
Because we know, I think, well, we sort of know. On average, we find out that these solid shafts are hardened on the outside. Not too sure about these tubular ones because they might not go bother because they're bigger diameter.
Well,
'Cause that's the reason, isn't it? They're bigger diameter slightly.
It'd be good quality. I would say.
And then, yeah, obviously some people commented about the interference fit, which 100% I think would work, wouldn't it, Dad?
But you've
got to be...
Yeah, but if you've got interference fit, you've got to be spot on first time to know where it is.
Yeah, and the tool and the machining, which, you know, I'm sure you could do, but you got to be, you know, more accurate than a gnat's cock, isn't it, really?
Yeah.
And so we think it's just simpler just to go, okay, we'll put a nice snug fit in so they can be pushed in and out.
Yeah.
Not too sloppy, that's for sure.
Yeah.
And then I'll just take them home and I'll TIG weld them.
And also, the thing is, because that's such a small diameter,
Yeah.
any deflection or something is so minimal. It's not like a big diameter.
No. And in the end, it's tools you've got, and also, well, let's just prove it works first, and then get them remade another day if I ever get that far. But yeah, so let's get them stripped down, and then so the only critical thing is obviously once we make this mark, we can then cut it 3 inches off, which doesn't have to be 100% accurate with we can do the disc cut on that nearly. And then, we just need to take a fraction off the hardening, which is the only downside, just to just get it fit in. But we'll see.
It's not going to be hardened as such. It's going to be tough.
Yeah.
If it's hardened, it becomes brittle, doesn't it?
Yeah. And
But what will harden it?
It will be the welding as well.
It will be the welding.
Yeah.
And if you quenched it or something like that, so don't quench it or anything.
No.
Don't put water on it. Let it cool naturally. And the welding will induce some form of structural change.
So let's get them stripped down, and then decide whether we just do one shaft at a time, so we don't get confused.
One shaft at a time, I think.
And then if we make any mistakes, we can then learn on the next one.
And what you've got to remember is the gaiters have got to go back on before you put the joints back together.
They definitely
You see what I'm...
Yeah.
After you've welded it.
Yeah, we give them a paint and then weld them and then put the joints back on.
Put
the boots on.
Boots back on, then. Where's my work, mate? Okay.
Yeah. All right, let's go sort ourselves out. Okay, does it a snag or a problem? I've just realised that the two Audi shafts, left and right, are different. They're a different diameter tube. So this one, the mini shaft, goes in, not a problem, way too loose. Where this one is the same sort of diameter tube maybe, but it's just a thicker wall. So obviously the Audi do something slightly differently depending on left or right side. For whatever reason, different length.
And unless these are two different.
Yeah, I bought them on the same auction from the same,
Right.
Same breakers. And so ideally what I could have done was just two of these and maybe, because then it's a lot nicer. Because now, the only thing I'm thinking at the moment is, being silly, you've got to create some sort of bush now to centralise it. But
Which is easier in a way.
is it? Okay, yeah. Just means we've got to machine something up a bit more than, than actually just machining something off and done. If you see what I mean, we've got to make something now, haven't we?
Yeah.
Which takes time and just, an effort. And so maybe we should start on this shaft first. I suppose we should do the complicated one first, but let's have a think.
Now, if I'd put that in now, I've got to miss go twice.
Twice.
So that's once. That can go down in. They all should be about the same now. And that's got 3 teeth sticking out. That
Just a
hasn't.
Oh, it's like the Blair Witch Project. SitRep. We did a lot of mistakes. So I didn't film it, we were just cracking on. We only had like 2-3 hours and Dad's a bit ill, so he's getting a bit knackered. So we're off down the local Brewers Fair in a minute for a dinner with my sister. But basically, I'll explain in the daylight. But the tubes weren't any different. The drive shaft, if anybody's an Audi person, everyone's screaming at me, maybe already knew. Literally, where I'd cut one of the tubes down, I'd actually cut it on like a welded joint that goes into the tubes. So basically, what we saw and what we were measuring, didn't check because it was full of grease and bits of other stuff, was that it wasn't. The tube is bigger. I cut another 1/2 inch off later on, and it is exactly the same size as the other tube. So that was after we then ground down a bit of the mini shaft, which we then had a trouble trying to actually get the CV joints off, which seems to be a common issue, that they don't really want you to take those CV joints off. But then we thought we'd completely bugged it all up, and then realised we had a bit of tube laying around that actually we slid over the shaft that we'd actually reduced, and that fitted perfectly inside the other shaft. So if we get time tomorrow, we might finish that, but I might head home anyway. But I've got a bit of this tube. So regardless, one way or another, we can actually make some drive shafts at home with a little bit of skill, because the lathe wasn't playing about as well. But, yeah. All right, we're back at the shack for heaters for tea. It's been a few days. Basically, this is a mini drive shaft. I've ended up angle grinding the cage out and smashing the CV joint off, because there's a clip inside this. You see that going up and down? There's a clip inside, and it's got a square channel on these ones, and so basically you can't knock it off. It just, well, we couldn't. And so basically what I've just done is carefully angle grind some slits down it. So I'm going to try and just tap this off and ruin it. I've basically got some new CV joints coming. Yeah, maybe there's a proper way to get these off, but I couldn't figure them out. So we just do the heavy-handed approach. Okay, there we have the bit that holds a clip on. And then we've got our split. Now, I don't know if you can see it on that one. You can maybe see it on that one a little bit. I didn't clean it up. Basically, there's another square groove on that side, which really doesn't help. A clip coming off one side could do with being circular, but maybe they're designed for one use only. Anyway, get that machined up and sleeved, ready to go in the other drive shaft, because that's what we're going to do. Okay, we're getting somewhere. Whether it's the right way or not, who knows, but we're getting somewhere. So basically, there's our two shafts. One's about 1 inch longer because just the way the gearbox sits / the drive flanges sit. So managed to clean this up a bit later. Well, not that it's critical. So we ground down the mini shafts a fraction, not even 1/2 mil. slid this tube over, which now then slots nicely into there. Okay, not interference fit, but we're not dealing with any of that, I'm afraid. And the same with this side, in it goes. And so basically what we're going to do next is just basically weld round. I don't know whether to put a little bit of weld just on the bottom of the tube. The other option I've got, I'll leave it to you guys to maybe decide, but we could do it afterwards anyway. Yeah. These shafts look a bit different anyway, the ends. Anywho, yeah, this goes down in there. Do I drill a hole through here, through the sleeve, and then weld, put a plug weld all the way through onto the mini shaft in there? Quite easily could do it afterwards actually, because we could just drill and just don't go all the way through, and you'd get a good weld anyway. So I might just leave it for now and just see how it goes, because yeah, we're all the unknowns at the moment on these drive shafts. So yeah, that's how we're going to cut and shaft drive shafts. So we're going to take them home and we'll TIG weld them. I don't know if I get that on video or not, but I'll use a TIG. I've got some, I haven't done it for a long time, not steel, but it's got to be easier than aluminium, and I managed to seal something up the other day with that. Yeah, let me know if you think it's going to work. It's only got to come out in and out the garage, isn't it? That CV grease is the worst. I hate CV grease. I'm pretty sure everybody else out there does as well. Absolutely evil. And I actually got some on my clean trousers, which I shouldn't have done, so I'm in trouble there. Anyway, thank you for all the support. Sorry this is a bit of a hash video. I did half of it up in Yorkshire with my dad, and I only had 3 hours, and we wasted a bit of that time. It wasn't wasted because I actually got to spend time with my dad, so that's good. What we did was wasted-ish. Is this going to work? Who knows, but we'll figure it out. If you like what I do, and you think it's funny and entertaining, hit the like button please, and subscribe below if you could. And yeah, a little short midweek video, but hopefully we'll be back on routine in the coming weeks, this weekend hopefully, and yeah, hopefully a bit more change is going to happen in February, March time, so just bear with us, and we'll get there. Frank will be coming back as well, and a load of other projects, and maybe new ones as well. All right, stay safe everyone, see you next time.